The first thing you will learn when you walk into a class of mid or high school students to teach poetry is that your lesson plan won't save you. Burn it. You won't need it. 11 times out of 10, their lesson plan will kick your lesson plan's ass anyways. They aren't all ears with naive aspirations of university poets in training, craving form and to follow in the footprints of the greats. They just want us to get out of their way. Their brains are 4x400 meter relays, and teachers, sometimes we're the slowest leg. Thoroughbred imaginations that never wanted to be show horses, but we saddle them with our baggage anyways. The second thing you'll learn is that creativity doesn't need training wheels. Creativity will find a better way to get there than bike. We have no idea what they could know if we weren't so preoccupied with them knowing what we know. Three, dead friends beat dead poets every time. When their lives are the things bad dreams are made of, poems don't do them justice. So now we call these things, we teach them tools for dealing with reality. And I guess it helps a little that they're cool to read at parties. I used to think that we teach them that their thoughts are valuable, when the fourth thing they actually taught me is that I'm not as radical as I imagined, that I'm bound by a certain pragmatism, and that they're only bound by the expectations we have of them. 5, I learned that some of the best poems aren't bound by paper. They're perfectly binded to adolescent spines, and if we turn their mouths into open books, they will read for the rest of their lives. The sixth thing they taught me was, you learn more in a single instance of raising your hand and being wrong than a dozen times of raising your hand and being right. So we can read what we already know people like, or we can try and be liked. 7, they taught me that some of us never stop trying to be popular. And I just use other P words to accomplish it, like professor or poem. And I taught them a few of those. I know, I finally taught them something. The way it's been going thus far, they've been doing all the heavy lifting, and I've been over here collecting a paycheck. So I taught them a few poems. 8, and here's the one they taught me. Not a teacher, but I teach. Have taught and still do. But now, the classrooms are different. Forced back to patience from doctorate, from master's to novice, from professor to scholar, to teacher to college, the high school problem child. Now the students had the knowledge. And we're catching up. I sat in labs with 22 separate experiments, conducting experiments, and a few antisocial reactions going wrong have me wondering what their parents meant or didn't mean when they had them. But the feeling is mutual, because neither do we get to select the folks that have us, but they have us. And these are the discourses we're not having. Sitting here genetically splitting hairs, splitting atoms, when I remember taking courses about family matters, home economics, birth control, and abstinence, because the real world out there looks nothing like our idealistic theories and sanitized classrooms. Instead of distrusting the disruptions who are fed up with the demagoguery we instruct them with, how can we pretend we're puzzled when the fact of the matter is it's disgusting the discussions we're not having? So now, I'm sitting in the back of the classroom. And I'm going to pretend this is a bus. We're going to role play the 60s today, students. Y'all head to the front, because guess what? You're better than us. First, I'd ask one of the jocks, write me a paper on where Kobe Bryant, Barry Bonds, and Michael Vick each messed up. Because if you're a good an athlete as they say you are, and smart enough to pay the extra money to get an accountant you can trust, these papers will be far more educational than 1 + 1. I tell them, life is more than a game. For extra credit, I'd ask any black athlete in the class to give me a comparative analysis on the similarities between pro ball and slavery. Second, I'd ask the Halo kid, why AT&T's Angry Birds will never beat Dungeons & Dragons. Why online gaming is cool, but it's important to have human interactions. And why he's so glad he has it with that because his parents never had it with him. And a speech about how one day you're going to play these games with your kid. Matter of fact, make it a poem. We got AYP and NCLB standards to meet. So I'd rather let your English teach to the test while I test the teachers, or else they're going to close the doors in this little recess and we're all going home. Third, I give them all homework. To sit with a different race, gender, sexual preference, physically handicapped, or mental condition at lunch. Starting with the role-playing gamer and the jock. You band camp, you gangster, and you the punk. Because you can separate in a college prep and learning disabled in here, but out there, there's strength in numbers. I want papers about how every day is another opportunity to educate yourself or someone else. Because some of us used to not be allowed in these four walls to get this. And now, some of us can't get it because another four walls won't let us out. But get this. These four walls could be the biggest obstacles to you because the real classroom has a ceiling of clouds. And sometimes it has walls of injustice and windows of misperception, but it's got a ground. And you've got 2 feet. So you can always walk, wheel, or fly your way to another lesson. And that's what they taught me. They taught me that no matter how bad my pride wanted that feel-good, Michelle Pfeiffer, dangerous minds kind of conviction, that noble sacrifice of a profession, I was no teacher. I was just a lesson. Can't even call myself a good learner, but I learn. Have learned and still do. But now, the classrooms are different.